Who will be the next U.S. president? Brief history of Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump, born on June 14, 1946, is a businessman, television personality, and politician who served as the 45th President of the United States from January 20, 2017, to January 20, 2021. Here's a brief overview of his life and career. Early life and education. Born Queens, New York City, family, the fourth of 5 children of Fred and Mary Trump. Education, attended the New York Military Academy, then transferred to Fordham University, before completing a bachelor's degree in economics at the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. Business career. Early career joined his father's real estate business, which was primarily focused on middle-income housing in Queens and Brooklyn. The Trump Building, situated in the downtown of Chicago. It is a prime part of the downtown. Trump Organization took control of the business in 1971 and renamed it the Trump Organization. Expanded into Manhattan, focusing on high-profile real estate, including the Trump Tower, and later, casinos and resorts. Branding and media. Became a prominent public figure through his real estate ventures and his role as the host of the reality TV show The Apprentice, which aired from 2004 to 2015. Political career. Early political activity, expressed political views and supported various candidates, including running for the Reform Party presidential nomination in 2000. Presidential campaign, announced his candidacy for the 2016 presidential election as a Republican. His campaign was marked by its controversial statements and positions, including strong rhetoric on immigration and trade. Election, won the 2016 election against Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton in a surprise victory, securing the Electoral College while losing the popular vote. Presidency, 2017 to 2021 major policies, implemented significant tax cuts, deregulated several industries, and renegotiated trade deals such as NAFTA, replaced with the USICA. His administration also took controversial positions on immigration, including building a border wall with Mexico and enacting travel bans from certain countries. Impeachments, faced 2 impeachment trials. The first in 2019 on charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress related to Ukraine. The second in 2021, after the January 6 Capitol riot on charges of incitement of insurrection. He was acquitted by the Senate in both instances. COVID-19 pandemic. His handling of the COVID-19 pandemic was widely debated and criticized, with his administration's response being a significant issue during his presidency. Post-presidency. 2020 election, lost re-election to Democrat Joe Biden. Trump and many of his supporters claimed the election was fraudulent, though these claims were largely debunked. Legal issues. Post-presidency, Trump has faced various legal challenges, including investigations into his business practices and his actions related to the 2020 election. Donald Trump remains a highly influential and polarizing figure in American politics and public life. History of Kamala Harris. It seems like you're asking about Kamala Harris. Kamala Devi Harris, born on October 20, 1964, is the 49th Vice President of the United States and the first woman, first Black, and first South Asian American to hold the office. Here's an overview of her life and career. Early life and education. Born Oakland, California, to immigrant parents, her mother, Shamila Gopalan, was a breast cancer scientist from India, and her father, Donald Harris, is a Jamaican-American economist and professor. Education. Attended Howard University, a historically Black university, where she studied political science and economics. She later earned her law degree from the University of California, Hastings College of the Law. Early career in law. Deputy District Attorney, began her career in the Alameda County District Attorney's Office, where she focused on prosecuting cases of violent crime, drug trafficking, and sexual assault. San Francisco District Attorney, elected as the District Attorney of San Francisco in 2003, becoming the first woman and first person of color to hold the office. She was known for her work on criminal justice reform and her stance against the death penalty. California Attorney General, 2011 to 2017 election, elected as California's Attorney General in 2010 and re-elected in 2014, becoming the first woman, first Black person, and first South Asian person to hold the position. Achievements focused on issues like consumer protection, foreclosure settlements, and criminal justice reform. She gained national recognition for her work on anti-truancy laws and protecting same-sex marriage rights in California. U.S. Senate career, 2017 to 2021 election, elected as the U.S. Senator from California in 2016, succeeding Senator Barbara Boxer. She was the second Black woman and the first South Asian American in the U.S. Senate. Senate work, served on the Senate Judiciary, Homeland Security, and Intelligence Committees. Known for her sharp questioning style during Senate hearings, especially during Supreme Court confirmations and investigations into Russian interference in the 2016 election. Vice Presidency, 2021-present 2020 election, chosen as Joe Biden's running mate in the 2020 presidential election. Her selection was historic, making her the first woman of color on a major party's presidential ticket. The Biden-Harris ticket won the election against incumbent President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence. Vice presidential role. As Vice President, Harris has focused on various issues, including immigration reform, voting rights, and efforts to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. She has also taken on diplomatic roles, representing the U.S. in international engagements. Personal life. Marriage. Married to Doug Emhoff, an attorney, in 2014. Emhoff is the first second gentleman of the United States. Family. Harris is also stepmother to Emhoff's two children from his previous marriage, who affectionately call her Mala. Kamala Harris's career has been marked by breaking barriers and advocating for civil rights, criminal justice reform, and social equity. She remains a prominent figure in American politics. Who will be the next U.S. president? Reason for that: according to my predicting the next U.S. president is challenging, as it depends on many unpredictable factors, including candidate choices, political dynamics, key issues, and voter sentiment. However, I can provide some insights into potential candidates and the reasoning behind why they might have a strong chance. 1. Donald Trump, former president. Reasoning: Trump has indicated he may run again in 2024. He remains a dominant figure in the Republican Party, with a loyal base of supporters. Despite legal challenges and controversies, his popularity within his party makes him a strong contender if he decides to run. He has past 5 years' experience in U.S. presidency. 2. Kamala Harris, Vice President. Reasoning: as Vice President, Harris is a prominent figure in the Democratic Party and would be a logical candidate if Biden chooses not to run. She brings historical significance and experience from her roles as Vice President, Senator, and Attorney General. However, her polling numbers and public perception will be critical factors in her viability. Joe Biden's withdrawal from presidential election. Kamala Harris nominated to the new candidate of Democratic Party. The unexpected nomination will increase her confidence. As a lady below 60 years, she is very powerful and her public interactions are very admirable. Key factors influencing the outcome: economic conditions. Voter sentiment is often tied to the state of the economy. A strong economy tends to favor the incumbent party, while economic downturns often lead to calls for change. Handling of key issues. The handling of major issues like healthcare, immigration, climate change, and social justice will significantly impact voter decisions. Voter turnout and demographics. Shifts in voter turnout among key demographic groups, such as young voters, minority communities, and suburban voters, can swing the election. Legal and political challenges. Any ongoing investigations or legal issues involving candidates could influence their chances and voter perceptions. The political landscape is dynamic, and many factors could change before the next election, influencing who will ultimately win. Out of this candidate, who is the best for economic growth? Determining which candidate would be best for economic growth involves analyzing their policies, past performance, and economic vision. Each potential candidate has different approaches to economic management, and their effectiveness can depend on the economic context at the time of their presidency. Here's an analysis of the economic strategies of some of the top candidates mentioned. Joe Biden, incumbent president. Economic approach. Biden's economic policies focus on expanding social safety nets, investing in infrastructure, and addressing climate change through green energy investments. His administration has passed significant legislation like the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act and the Inflation Reduction Act. Impact on growth. These policies are designed to create jobs, boost innovation in renewable energy, and improve long-term economic resilience. However, concerns about high government spending, inflation, and rising national debt could affect economic growth in the short term. Kamala Harris, Vice President. Economic approach. Harris aligns closely with Biden's economic agenda, emphasizing equity, healthcare access, and climate initiatives. She supports raising the minimum wage and increasing worker protections, which are aimed at boosting consumer spending and reducing inequality. Impact on growth. While these policies can support low and middle-income workers, critics argue that increased regulation and higher taxes on businesses could slow investment and job creation, potentially affecting overall growth. Who might be best for economic growth? Pro-business and deregulation approach. Candidates like Trump, DeSantis, and Haley favor low taxes and deregulation, which can stimulate business investment and job creation. This approach can lead to rapid growth, especially in a robust economic environment, but may also lead to increased deficits if not carefully managed. Investment in infrastructure and green energy. Candidates like Biden, Harris, and Newsom focus on long-term investments in infrastructure and green technologies, which can create jobs and drive future growth, although there are risks of short-term inflation and higher debt. Conclusion. If short-term growth and a pro-business environment are priorities, candidates like Trump, DeSantis, or Haley might be seen as favorable. For longer-term investments in technology, infrastructure, and social equity, Biden, Harris, or Newsom might offer more sustainable growth strategies. Have any advantages to India if Kamala Harris to be elected as new president? If Kamala Harris were to be elected as the president of the United States, it could have several potential advantages for India, both symbolically and in terms of policy. Here are some ways her presidency could impact India positively. Enhance diplomatic relations. Deep ties to India. Kamala Harris has Indian heritage through her mother, Shyamala Gopalan, who was born in Tamil Nadu. This personal connection to India could foster warmer diplomatic ties between the two nations, potentially leading to stronger bilateral relations. Focus on shared democratic values. Harris has often spoken about shared democratic values between the US and India, which could lead to a greater emphasis on strategic partnerships in areas like defense, technology, and counterterrorism. Support for Indian American community representation and influence. Harris being in the highest office would be a significant moment of representation for the Indian American community, which is one of the most influential and successful immigrant groups in the US. This could lead to policies that further empower this community, indirectly benefiting India through people-to-people ties. Cultural and economic connections. Her leadership could strengthen cultural exchanges and economic ties between India and the US, as Harris's background provides her with a unique understanding of Indian culture and issues. Potential boost to trade and investment. Pro-technology and innovation policies. Harris is known for her support of technology, innovation, and clean energy. Strengthening US-India collaboration in these areas could be beneficial, particularly in sectors like IT, pharmaceuticals and green technology, where India has strong capabilities. Focus on healthcare and climate change areas such as healthcare innovation and climate change, where Harris has shown interest, could open up new avenues for US-India cooperation. This could result in increased trade, joint ventures, and investment opportunities. Advocacy for immigration reform support for skilled immigrants. Harris has been a vocal advocate for immigration reform, including support for H-1B visa holders, many of whom are from India. Her presidency could lead to more favorable immigration policies, benefiting Indian professionals in the US and maintaining a strong talent pipeline between the two nations. Stronger stance on family reunification and legal pathways. Harris's policies may focus on legal immigration pathways, which could positively affect Indian families seeking to join relatives in the US. Strengthening strategic defense ties. Focus on Indo-Pacific security. Harris's administration would likely continue to view India as a key partner in maintaining stability in the Indo-Pacific region, countering China's influence. This could result in increased defense cooperation, military exercises, and technology sharing, enhancing India's strategic position. Human rights and social justice advocacy. Promotion of democratic principles. Harris has been vocal about human rights and social justice issues, which could lead to more collaboration on promoting democracy and human rights in the region. While this could sometimes lead to friction over domestic Indian policies, it could also push for progressive changes aligned with global democratic norms. Potential challenges. While there are many advantages, it's important to note that Harris's stance on human rights and democracy could sometimes lead to tensions, especially if US foreign policy pushes India on issues like freedom of speech, religious rights, or internal security measures. However, these tensions are typical in any dynamic bilateral relationship and can be managed through diplomacy. Overall, Kamala Harris's presidency would likely bring India and the US closer due to shared cultural ties, strategic interests, and economic opportunities, benefiting both nations. Conclusion. The author Mr. Thomas Matthew has visited USA 2 times. His global vision in world politics is a reason to make such a video. The script has edited with the support of AA. As a beginner, please support the author. Please give feedbacks to improve my AI editing. Edited by Thomas Matthew, Griffiths Creation Corporate Office, M&T Creations, Kerala, India. Contact +91 938 762 0871. Visit mapala.com. Data